In the Norse vision of the universe, the cosmos does not float in empty space. It grows. At the center of existence stands Yggdrasil, the immense ash tree that binds together every realm, every destiny, every cycle of life and destruction. It is not merely symbol, it is structure. The 9 worlds are not separate islands scattered across the void. They exist as parts of a living organism. Each realm clings to the vast body of Yggdrasil, connected through its trunk, its branches, and its roots. The gods travel its paths. Creatures dwell among its limbs. Fate itself is woven at its base. In this way, the Norse cosmos resembles neither mechanical system nor abstract heavens. It resembles life, growing, aging, enduring strain. The universe breathes through Yggdrasil. Its branches reach toward the heavens, where the gods dwell. Its roots stretch deep into realms of wisdom, memory, and primordial forces. Between these extremes lies the world of humans, suspended within the tree's vast architecture. Yggdrasil therefore serves as axis, not merely physical center, but existential one. It holds the cosmos upright. It connects the divine, the mortal, and the primordial. Every realm depends on it. Every fate touches it. And when the tree trembles, the entire universe feels the strain. The power of Yggdrasil lies not only in its size, but in its structure. Its branches extend across the heavens, touching the realms of gods and spirits. These branches represent the visible order of the cosmos, the worlds where life unfolds, where conflict occurs, where civilizations rise and fall. But the true foundations lie beneath. 3 immense roots anchor the tree across different realms of existence. Each root reaches into a different dimension of reality, linking the present world to deeper sources of knowledge and power. One root descends into the domain where the Norns shape fate. Another reaches toward hidden wisdom guarded by ancient memory. A third stretches into the depths of primal waters and darkness. Through these roots, the cosmos is nourished. Through these roots, knowledge flows. Through these roots, fate itself emerges. The branches may display the visible worlds, but the roots sustain them. Without these foundations, the 9 worlds would collapse into chaos. Thus the Norse cosmos is not balanced by distance or gravity, but by tension. The tension between roots that reach into ancient depths and branches that stretch toward divine order. Yggdrasil stands because those forces remain in balance. Yet that balance is never absolute. The tree is alive, and like all living things, it endures strain, conflict, and the slow pressure of time. At the roots of Yggdrasil lie 3 sacred wells. These wells do not merely provide water, they sustain reality itself. Each root reaches toward a different source of cosmic power, and each well represents a fundamental aspect of existence: fate, wisdom, and primordial origin. The first is the Well of Erd. Here dwell the Norns, the beings who shape the threads of destiny for gods and mortals alike. From this well, the roots of Yggdrasil are nourished with sacred waters and white clay, preserving the life of the cosmic tree. Fate is not distant or abstract. It grows directly from the foundations of the universe. The second is the Well of Mimir. This well holds the deepest reservoir of wisdom in the cosmos. Guarded by the ancient being Mimir, its waters contain knowledge of past and future alike. Those who drink from it gain insight into truths beyond ordinary understanding, but such knowledge always demands sacrifice. The third is Hvergelmir. Located in the depths of primordial darkness, this well is the source from which countless rivers emerge. These rivers flow outward through the worlds, carrying life, movement, and change. Hvergelmir represents origin, the deep, ancient forces that existed before the cosmos was shaped. Together, these wells sustain the structure of existence. Fate determines the course of events. Wisdom reveals their meaning. Primordial waters provide the raw energy from which all things emerge. Through these 3 sources, the roots of Yggdrasil draw strength. And through them, the universe continues to endure. A tree so vast cannot remain empty. Yggdrasil is alive with creatures that inhabit its immense structure, each reflecting forces that move through the cosmos. At the deepest root coils Nidagr, This serpent gnaws endlessly at the roots of the tree, attempting to weaken its foundations. Nidegr represents decay and erosion, the constant pressure that threatens all living structures. Just as time slowly wears away stone, this dragon symbolizes the inevitability of deterioration. High among the highest branches perches a great eagle. From its vantage point above the worlds, the eagle observes the entirety of the cosmos. Its presence symbolizes perspective and awareness, the capacity to see the vast order of existence from above. Between these two extremes runs Ratatoskr, the restless squirrel who races along the trunk of Yggdrasil, carrying insults between the eagle and Niflheim. Ratatoskr's role may seem trivial, yet it reveals something profound about the Norse cosmos. Tension travels. Messages pass between the highest and lowest realms. Conflict is not isolated. It flows through the structure of reality itself. Thus, Yggdrasil is not merely stable architecture, it is dynamic. Forces of creation, wisdom, decay, and tension all move through its living body. The tree survives not because it is untouched by conflict, but because it endures it, and as long as Yggdrasil stands, the 9 worlds remain bound together within its vast, breathing form. High among the branches of Yggdrasil lies the realm of the gods. Asgard is not merely a heavenly dwelling. It is the political and spiritual center of divine authority. Within its walls reside the Aesir, the gods who govern order, war, wisdom, and the fragile balance of the cosmos. Asgard stands as a fortress. Its halls are vast, its gates guarded, its boundaries carefully maintained. The gods understand that their realm exists under constant threat from forces beyond its walls, giants, primordial chaos, and the slow pressures of fate itself. Within Asgard stand many sacred halls. The most prominent among them include Odin's Great Hall, where the Allfather rules and contemplates the fate of the worlds, and the assembly places where the gods gather to deliberate matters affecting the cosmos. But Asgard is not isolated from the rest of existence. From its heights, the gods observe the realms below. They intervene when balance is threatened. They shape events across the 9 worlds, though even they remain bound by the larger weave of fate. Thus Asgard functions not as paradise removed from conflict, but as command center of cosmic order. The gods rule from above, yet their authority is always under strain. For beyond the walls of Asgard lie forces that have never accepted their rule. Among the many halls of Asgard, one stands above all others: Valhalla. Here dwell the fallen warriors known as the Einherjar, those chosen by Odin after death on the battlefield. These warriors do not simply rest in the afterlife. They prepare. Each day they train, fight, and sharpen their strength. Each evening they rise again, their wounds healed, gathering in the great hall to feast beside their lord. Their purpose is not celebration alone, it is readiness. The warrior ideal in Norse belief is not defined by victory alone, but by courage in the face of inevitable conflict. To enter Valhalla is to join a sacred brotherhood that will one day fight beside Odin in the final battle of Ragnarok. Thus Valhalla represents more than an afterlife. It represents preparation for destiny. The warriors gathered there symbolize a core Norse value, that courage does not avoid death, it confronts it with dignity. Honor lies not in escaping fate, but in meeting it without fear. Within the Golden Hall of Valhalla, the ideal of the warrior becomes eternal. For every feast, every battle, and every victory within its walls points toward a future moment when the gods and their chosen champions will stand together against the forces that seek to unravel the cosmos. Between the realm of gods and the world of mortals stretches a bridge unlike any other. Bifrost. To human eyes it appears as a rainbow arcing across the sky, brilliant, shifting, almost fragile in color. Yet in the mythic imagination of the Norse, it is far more than beauty in the heavens. Bifrost is the path that connects realms. Through it the gods travel between Asgard and Midgard. It is the corridor through which divine intervention becomes possible, allowing the rulers of the cosmos to move between their stronghold and the world of men. But the bridge is not passive. It burns. Its flames ensure that only the gods, or those permitted by them, may cross safely. For others, the heat would be unbearable. The bridge therefore functions as both connection and protection, linking realms while preventing uncontrolled passage. Guarding this bridge stands Heimdall, the vigilant sentinel whose senses extend across vast distances. From his watch post he observes the approach of any being who might attempt to cross without permission. Bifrost thus represents something fundamental in Norse cosmology. Access between worlds is possible, but it is never unrestricted. From the heights of Asgard, the gods observe the unfolding of events across the 9 worlds. Their position above Midgard does not merely reflect physical elevation, it reflects hierarchy. The Aesir occupy the upper levels of the cosmic structure. From there they maintain balance among realms that constantly threaten to fall into conflict. Giants press from beyond their borders. Forces of chaos move through the deeper layers of reality. The gods do not control everything, but they influence much. Their decisions affect wars, seasons, destinies, and the survival of human communities. Yet even as rulers of divine order, they remain subject to forces older and deeper than themselves: fate, prophecy, and the slow erosion of cosmic stability. Thus the authority of Asgard is not absolute, it is administrative. The gods maintain order within the living structure of the cosmos, much as guardians maintain a fortress. Their power lies in vigilance, intervention, and the preservation of balance. But beneath their authority, tension always remains. For the world of humans lies between opposing forces. Above them rule the gods. Beyond them stir the giants, and Midgard exists in the narrow space where those powers meet. Before humanity existed, the cosmos had already been shaped by conflict. From the body of Ymir, the first being formed from the meeting of ice and fire, the gods created the structure of the world. Mountains rose from his bones, oceans flowed from his blood. The sky itself was formed from his skull. But the world was still empty. It lacked witnesses. Walking along the shore of the newly formed earth, the gods, among them Odin and his brothers, found 2 pieces of driftwood lying on the sand. From these lifeless forms they shaped the first humans. One became Ask, the other, Embla. The gods gave them gifts that transformed them from wood into living beings. Breath to sustain life, consciousness to perceive the world, movement to act within it, form and speech to participate in existence. Humanity did not emerge accidentally. It was crafted. Humans were placed within the cosmos as participants in its unfolding story, beings capable of choice, struggle, and awareness. Yet, unlike the gods, they were not granted immortality. Their lives would be brief, their world uncertain. In this way, humanity became reflection of the cosmic tension that shaped the universe itself. The world given to humans was not left exposed. The gods constructed a realm for them, a place set apart within the branches of Yggdrasil. This realm is Midgard. Its name means middle enclosure, and the meaning is precise. Midgard exists between realms, neither among the gods nor within the territories of the giants. It occupies the central layer of the cosmic structure. To protect humanity, the gods formed a great boundary around this world, using the remains of Ymir's body. This barrier separates Midgard from the chaotic lands where giants dwell, creating a fragile zone where human life can unfold. But protection does not mean safety. Midgard remains vulnerable. It lies between powerful forces that constantly influence its destiny. The gods may defend it, but they cannot remove it from the greater tension of the cosmos. Thus, Midgard becomes something unique in Norse cosmology. It is not the center of power, it is the frontier. Here, humans live between divine order and primordial chaos, navigating a world where protection exists, but certainty never does. The boundaries of Midgard are not guarded only by walls. They are surrounded by something far more immense. Beneath the vast ocean that encircles the human world coils Jormungandr, the colossal serpent cast into the sea by the gods long ago. Over time it grew so large that it now wraps around the entire world, its body forming a ring beneath the waters. Its tail rests in its own mouth. This image is more than mythic spectacle. It represents containment. Jormungandr forms a living boundary around Midgard. As long as the serpent remains in the sea, the structure of the human world holds. But the presence of such a creature beneath the surface reminds humanity of a deeper truth. Protection is never absolute. The same being that encircles the world also threatens it. When the serpent moves, storms rise. When it stirs in the deep, the sea grows violent. Its existence symbolizes the tension that constantly presses against Midgard's fragile stability. One day, the serpent will release its tail. And when it does, the balance of the cosmos will begin to collapse. But for now, it waits, silent beneath the waters that surround the human realm. Human existence in Midgard unfolds between two immense powers. Above them dwell the gods of Asgard, guardians of order, watchers over the balance of the worlds. Beyond the protective boundaries of Midgard lie the lands of the giants, beings who embody the raw and unpredictable forces of the cosmos. Humanity stands between them. The gods influence human life through wisdom, protection, and occasional intervention. They offer guidance, inspiration, and sometimes direct assistance, but they do not eliminate struggle. Beyond the borders of Midgard, the giants represent the ancient forces that existed before the world was shaped. Storm, wilderness, and primordial power. These forces cannot be fully destroyed, only contained. Thus human life takes place within a narrow corridor of balance. Too far toward divine order and existence becomes rigid. Too close to primordial chaos, and civilization collapses. Midgard, therefore, reflects the human condition itself. Humans must navigate uncertainty, conflict, and limitation. They must build communities, defend themselves, and search for meaning in a world where powerful forces move beyond their control. In this way, Midgard is not merely a geographical realm. It is the stage upon which human courage, resilience, and vulnerability unfold, suspended between the ambitions of gods and the pressures of giants. Among the 9 worlds connected through Yggdrasil lies a realm defined not by war or sovereignty, but by life itself. This realm is Vanaheim. Here dwell the Vanir, a group of deities distinct from the Aesir who rule in Asgard. While the Aesir are often associated with war, rulership, and cosmic order, the Vanir embody forces that sustain existence more quietly: fertility, abundance, and the flourishing of nature. The Vanir govern cycles rather than battles. They represent the growth of crops, the fertility of the land, the prosperity of communities, and the unseen currents of sacred magic that flow through the natural world. Among their most prominent members are figures such as Freya and Freyr, whose influence reaches far beyond their homeland. Through them, the vitality of the Vanir touches human life, ensuring that fields grow and prosperity becomes possible. Vanaheim therefore represents a different dimension of divine power. Where Asgard protects order, Vanaheim nourishes life. Both are necessary. Without protection, life collapses into chaos. Without fertility, protection becomes meaningless. The realm of the Vanir reflects a profound aspect of Norse cosmology: balance within the living world. Nature, in this worldview, is not passive environment, it is sacred force. The Vanir embody the rhythms that sustain existence: the rising of crops from the soil, the turning of seasons, the fertility of animals and humans alike. These processes are not random. They are expressions of divine vitality flowing through the structure of the cosmos. Prosperity, therefore, is not simply wealth. It is harmony between humans and the living world around them. When that harmony exists, fields produce abundance, communities flourish, and life continues through generations. When it is disrupted, famine, disease, and instability follow. The Vanir represent the guardianship of this delicate equilibrium. They remind the cosmos that survival depends not only on strength or wisdom, but on nourishment. Within the greater architecture of the 9 worlds, Vanaheim stands as a counterweight to conflict. A realm where growth rather than struggle defines divine purpose. And in that role, the Vanir sustain the quiet foundations upon which all other realms depend. Despite their shared divinity, the two great families of gods did not begin in harmony. The Aesir of Asgard and the Vanir of Vanaheim once stood opposed to one another in one of the earliest conflicts of the divine world. The causes of this war lie deep within the structure of the cosmos. The Aesir represented sovereignty, law, and the defense of order. They were gods of kingship, battle, and cosmic governance. The Vanir embodied fertility, prosperity, and the mysterious forces that sustained life itself. Two different visions of divine power, two different expressions of cosmic authority. When these forces first encountered each other, tension became inevitable. The myths describe battles between the two divine clans, struggles that shook the structure of the worlds themselves. Yet unlike many conflicts in mythology, this war did not end with total destruction. Neither side could eliminate the other, for both forces were necessary to the balance of the cosmos. Order without fertility cannot sustain life. Fertility without order cannot preserve civilization. The war revealed something fundamental. The universe required both. Rather than continue a conflict that could never truly be won, the gods sought reconciliation. The war ended through exchange. Members of the Vanir traveled to Asgard, while representatives of the Aesir became part of Vanaheim's world. Through this exchange, the two divine families integrated their powers. Among the Vanir who came to dwell among the Aesir were Freya and Freyr, whose presence brought the vitality of nature into the heart of the gods' political realm. Through this union, the cosmos achieved equilibrium. The authority of the Aesir gained the sustaining influence of fertility and prosperity. The Vanir, in turn, became part of the larger system that governed the worlds. This reconciliation demonstrates a central theme of Norse cosmology. Harmony does not arise from uniformity. It arises from balance between different forces. The integration of Aesir and Vanir did not erase their differences. Instead, it allowed those differences to coexist within a single cosmic structure. Thus, the war between the divine families ultimately revealed a deeper truth. The universe is not held together by dominance. It is held together by cooperation between powers that might otherwise oppose one another. Beyond the fortified order of the gods lies a realm that predates their rule. This realm is Jotunheim, the land of the Jotnar, often called giants, though the word does not fully capture their nature. The Jotnar are not merely large beings, they are primordial forces. Many of them descend from the ancient lineage of Ymir, the first being whose body formed the structure of the world itself. From this origin, the giants carry within them something older than the rule of the gods, echoes of the chaotic energies that existed before the cosmos was shaped into order. They embody storm, wilderness, ice, fire, and the untamed aspects of existence. In many myths they appear as adversaries of the gods, yet their role is more complex than simple opposition. The giants represent the raw materials of reality, forces that cannot be eliminated, only contained. Even the gods themselves are not entirely separate from them. Intermarriage, alliances, and shared ancestry blur the boundaries between the two groups. Thus the giants stand as reminder that the cosmos did not begin in order, it began in chaos. And that chaos never truly disappears. Where Asgard represents structured authority and Midgard represents protected human life, Jotunheim represents the vast territories beyond control. Here, the landscape is wild and unpredictable. Mountains rise like ancient bones. Forests stretch into darkness. The environment itself seems to resist the imposition of order. The walls of the gods do not reach here. In this realm, the Jotnar thrive in their natural element. They possess immense strength, ancient knowledge, and powers drawn directly from the primal forces that shaped the early universe. Yet their relationship with the gods is not one of constant war. It is tension. Sometimes the gods journey into Jotunheim seeking wisdom or challenge. Sometimes giants enter the realms of the gods to test their defenses. The boundary between these worlds remains active, a frontier where order meets its oldest rival. Jotunheim, therefore, represents something essential to the Norse understanding of reality. Order exists because chaos presses against it. Without the giants, the authority of the gods would have no opposition. Without the wild lands beyond the walls, the structure of the cosmos would lose the dynamic tension that sustains it. The giants are not merely enemies of the gods, they are the forces that ensure the universe never becomes static. Between Asgard and Jotunheim there is no permanent peace. Yet there is also no complete war. Their relationship is defined by tension. The gods of Asgard seek to maintain order within the cosmos, structure, law, and protection for the worlds that exist within the branches of Yggdrasil. The giants, by contrast, embody the ancient forces that existed before such order was imposed. This difference produces an enduring friction. The giants test the boundaries of the gods' power. They challenge the authority of Asgard and attempt to break through the structures that keep chaos contained. In response, the gods reinforce their defenses, strengthen their alliances, and maintain vigilance. Yet the boundary between these realms is never absolute. The gods sometimes travel into Jotunheim, seeking knowledge or proving their strength. Giants occasionally enter the realms of the gods through trickery, challenge, or negotiation. Thus, the frontier between Asgard and Jotunheim becomes one of the most dynamic zones in the Norse cosmos, a place where stability and disruption constantly meet. The tension is not temporary, it is structural. Without the pressure exerted by Jotunheim, the authority of the gods would lose its purpose. Despite their reputation as enemies of the gods, the giants are not merely destructive beings. Many possess ancient wisdom. Their knowledge stretches back toward the earliest moments of creation, to times when the universe itself was still forming. Some giants guard secrets about fate, the structure of the cosmos, and the hidden forces that govern existence. For this reason, even the gods sometimes seek their counsel. Odin himself travels into the lands of the giants in pursuit of knowledge that cannot be found within the ordered halls of Asgard. But such journeys are always dangerous. The wisdom of the giants is not freely given. It must be earned, negotiated, or taken at great cost. Their realm is unpredictable, filled with beings whose motivations do not align with the goals of the gods. Thus, Jotunheim represents a paradox. It is both threat and teacher. It is the land where chaos resides, but also the place where deeper truths about the cosmos may be discovered. In the Norse worldview, knowledge is rarely found only within safe borders. Sometimes it lies beyond the walls, in territories where danger and understanding exist side by side. Not all who die in the Norse world go to the halls of warriors. Beyond the lands of the living lies Helheim, a realm ruled by Hel. Unlike the heroic afterlife of Valhalla, Helheim is not a place of battle or celebration. It is quiet. Those who die from illness, age, or ordinary circumstances travel here. Their fate is not defined by glory in war, but by the natural conclusion of life. In this sense, Helheim reflects a broader vision of death within Norse cosmology, one that recognizes that most lives end not in heroic combat but in the slow rhythms of mortality. The realm itself is neither fiery torment nor paradise. It is solemn. Cold winds move across shadowed halls, and the atmosphere reflects stillness rather than suffering. Hel presides not as a cruel ruler, but as a guardian of the inevitable transition that awaits every living being. Helheim therefore represents acceptance. In a world where warriors seek honor in battle, this realm reminds the cosmos that death comes in many forms, and that every path eventually leads beyond the boundaries of Midgard. Far deeper within the cosmic structure lies an even older realm. Niflheim is one of the most ancient regions of existence, predating even the formation of many of the 9 worlds. It is a land of cold, mist, and endless frost. Long before the gods shaped the cosmos, the icy vapors of Niflheim flowed into the great void of Ginnungagap. There they encountered the heat of another primordial realm, Muspelheim, and from their meeting, the first life emerged. Thus Niflheim is not merely a world of cold, it is part of the origin of creation itself. Within its frozen depths lies the well of Fergelmir, from which countless rivers flow outward into the worlds. These rivers carry the icy waters that shape landscapes, sustain life, and remind the cosmos of its ancient beginnings. Niflheim, therefore, represents the memory of creation, the cold, primordial state from which existence first emerged. Where Helheim reflects the quiet destination of mortal life, Niflheim reflects the ancient forces that existed long before life began. If Niflheim represents the primordial cold of the cosmos, then its opposite lies in blazing contrast. Muspelheim is the realm of fire, a world of searing heat, burning skies, and living flame. It existed long before the shaping of the nine worlds, standing as one of the original forces that preceded the ordered universe. Within this realm dwell the fire giants, ancient beings born of flame and destruction. At their head stands Surtur, the powerful ruler of Muspelheim, whose blazing sword shines brighter than the sun. In the earliest moments of creation, the heat of Muspelheim met the icy vapors flowing from Niflheim within the great void of Ginnungagap. From the clash of these extremes, fire and frost, the first living being emerged. Thus, Muspelheim is not merely destructive force, it is creative power. The fire that burns worlds is also the fire that awakens life. In this way, Muspelheim stands as a reminder that creation itself often emerges from the collision of opposing energies. Within the Norse cosmos, death and creation are not separate processes. They are part of the same cycle. The icy realm of Niflheim and the blazing realm of Muspelheim represent two primordial extremes that shape existence itself. Cold preserves, stills, and hardens. Fire consumes, transforms, and renews. Together they define the boundaries within which life unfolds. These extremes also foreshadow the fate of the worlds. Just as fire and ice once collided to create life, they will one day contribute to the destruction of the cosmic order during Ragnarok. The fire of Muspelheim will sweep across the realms. The cold depths tied to Niflheim will reclaim what once lived. Yet, even in this destruction lies transformation. In the Norse vision of the universe, extremes are necessary. Without cold there is no structure. Without fire there is no change. Life emerges between these forces, fragile, temporary, and constantly shaped by their influence. Thus, the realms of ice and fire are not merely distant locations within the cosmic map. They are the deepest engines of existence. From them the worlds were born, and through them the cycle of creation and destruction continues. Among the branches of Yggdrasil lies a realm that rarely appears in the grand conflicts of the gods, yet remains deeply woven into the fabric of the cosmos. This realm is Alfheim. Alfheim is the home of the Losalfor, the light elves, beings associated with radiance, grace, and subtle influence. They are not warriors, like the gods of Asgard, nor primal forces, like the giants of Jotunheim. They represent illumination. The light elves are often described as beings of extraordinary beauty and brilliance, connected to the vitality of nature and the hidden energies that flow through the living world. Their realm reflects this nature, a place of brightness, growth, and delicate harmony. In some traditions, Alfheim is said to have been given to Freyr as a divine gift, linking the world of the elves with the fertility powers of the Vanir. Though rarely interfering directly in the affairs of gods and humans, the light elves represent an essential dimension of the Norse cosmos, the subtle forces that sustain beauty, growth, and inspiration. They embody light not as power or dominance, but as quiet vitality. If Alfheim represents light and grace, another hidden realm represents skill and creation through craft. Deep beneath the worlds lies Svartalfheim, also known in some traditions as Nidavellir. Here dwell the dwarves, master artisans of the cosmos. Unlike the gods who rule, or the giants who embody raw forces, the dwarves shape reality through craftsmanship. Their forges produce objects of immense power. Among their creations are some of the most sacred artifacts in Norse mythology: the hammer Mjolnir wielded by Thor, the spear Gungnir carried by Odin, and countless other treasures that strengthen the gods and shape the balance of the worlds. The dwarves' work represents a different kind of power, not domination, creation. Through patience, skill, and knowledge of materials hidden deep within the earth, they transform raw elements into instruments that alter the fate of the cosmos. Thus Svartalfheim stands as a realm where the hidden forces of craft and ingenuity operate. It reminds the Norse cosmos that strength alone does not sustain the worlds. Sometimes it is the quiet labor of creation that shapes the destiny of gods and men alike. Not all forces in the Norse cosmos are visible. Beyond the great halls of gods and the towering lands of giants, many realms are inhabited by beings who move quietly through the structure of reality. These entities rarely dominate the myths, yet their presence forms an essential part of the living universe. Among them are the elves of Alfheim and the dwarves of Svartalfheim. But they are not alone. The Norse worldview also recognizes a multitude of subtle spirits, land guardians, unseen presences, and mysterious beings tied to forests, mountains, rivers, and stones. These entities are often referred to collectively as land spirits. They inhabit the natural world and influence its balance. Farmers, travelers, and settlers believe that respect for these invisible powers was necessary for harmony with the land. Ignoring them could bring misfortune, honoring them could bring prosperity. The Norse cosmos therefore contains layers of existence beyond the obvious. Between the realms of gods and giants lies a hidden network of spiritual presences that shape the environment and guide unseen forces. These beings remind humanity that the world is not empty. It is inhabited at every level by powers that move quietly beneath the surface of reality. The Norse cosmos is sustained not only by strength and conflict, but also by subtler forces. Light and craft play a crucial role in maintaining balance within the worlds. The luminous presence of the light elves in Alfheim represents vitality, growth, and the quiet beauty that sustains life. Meanwhile, the dwarves of Niflheim transform raw materials into powerful artifacts that shape the destiny of the gods themselves. These two forces, illumination and craftsmanship, represent complementary aspects of cosmic order. Light inspires, craft transforms. Together they demonstrate that the stability of the universe does not depend solely on warriors or rulers. The strength of Thor, the wisdom of Odin, and the strategies of the gods often rely on tools and symbols created in hidden workshops deep beneath the earth. In this way, the Norse cosmos recognizes that balance requires many forms of power. Some shine like sunlight, others are forged in darkness. Yet both contribute to the delicate structure that holds the worlds together. The Norse cosmos is not a perfectly stable universe. It is a structure held together by tension. All realms, from the divine halls of Asgard to the mortal lands of Midgard and the wild territories of Jotunheim, exist within the vast living structure of Yggdrasil. This tree binds the worlds together. Its roots reach into deep wells of wisdom and primal forces, while its branches stretch across the heavens, supporting realms that contain gods, giants, spirits, and humanity. Every world influences the others, and no realm exists in complete isolation. The stability of this system depends on balance. Order must hold against chaos. Fire must exist alongside ice. Life must persist between creation and destruction. The gods maintain structures that protect the worlds, but these structures are never absolute. At every level of the cosmos, opposing forces push against one another. Giants challenge divine authority. Serpents coil beneath the seas. Creatures gnaw at the roots of the world tree itself. Even the gods recognize that their rule does not eliminate instability. It only delays its consequences. Thus, the Norse universe is not a static design. It is a dynamic equilibrium. Reality continues because these tensions remain in balance. Yet the Norse vision of the cosmos contains a profound understanding. Balance does not last forever. Hidden within the fabric of fate lies the certainty that one day the tensions sustaining the worlds will break. The ancient prophecies speak of a time when the forces long contained at the edges of reality will rise together. This event is known as Ragnarok. Ragnarok is not merely a battle between gods and monsters. It represents the collapse of the fragile equilibrium that has sustained the 9 worlds since their creation. The enemies of order will gather, giants will march from their realms, serpents will rise from the sea, fire will surge from the depths of Muspelheim. Even the gods themselves will march into a conflict they know they cannot ultimately win. This prophecy does not describe random destruction, it describes inevitability. In the Norse worldview, every structure eventually reaches the limits of its stability. The cosmos itself follows the same pattern as life. It rises, flourishes, declines, and transforms. Ragnarok therefore stands not only as the end of the current order, it is the moment when the tension holding the 9 worlds together finally releases. At the heart of the Norse cosmos stands the immense structure that binds all realms together. Yggdrasil. Its roots reach into ancient wells of wisdom and primordial forces. Its branches stretch across the heavens, holding the 9 worlds within its living framework. Gods, giants, humans, spirits, and hidden beings all exist within its vast organism. Yet even this great tree is not eternal. Throughout the myths, Yggdrasil is described as enduring constant strain. Serpents gnaw at its roots. Winds shake its branches. Creatures move across its bark, carrying messages, rivalries, and warnings between realms. These signs reveal an important truth: the cosmic structure is under pressure. As the forces of chaos grow stronger and the prophecies of Ragnarok draw closer, the tension sustaining the worlds begins to fracture. The balance that once held the realms together starts to weaken. When the final moment arrives, the great tree trembles. Its branches shudder across the sky. The connections between realms falter. The stability that once held gods, humans, and giants within a shared structure begins to break apart. The collapse of Yggdrasil does not simply mean the fall of a tree. It symbolizes the unraveling of the entire cosmic order. The architecture of existence itself begins to fail. Yet within the Norse vision of reality, destruction is never the final word. When the old order collapses and the worlds burn or sink beneath the sea, the cycle does not end. Instead, it prepares the conditions for renewal. From the ashes of the previous cosmos, the world rises again. The earth emerges fresh and green from the waters. New life grows where ruin once stood. The scars of the past remain part of memory, but they no longer define the future. This renewal reflects a deeper philosophical idea within Norse cosmology. Creation is not a single event, it is a recurring cycle. Worlds rise, endure, collapse, and rise again. Order forms out of chaos, only to one day dissolve and allow the process to begin anew. Thus the fall of Yggdrasil and the destruction of the 9 worlds are not simply tragedies. They are transitions. The Norse cosmos does not promise permanence. Instead, it teaches that even the greatest structures eventually transform, and from that transformation, a new world always waits to emerge. The universe imagined by the Norse was not a cold mechanism of distant stars and empty space. It was alive. At the center of this living reality stands Yggdrasil, the immense world tree whose roots and branches bind existence together. Every realm, from the divine halls of Asgard to the human lands of Midgard and the distant territories of Jotunheim, grows within its structure. This cosmic tree does not merely support the worlds, it connects them. The gods govern from its higher branches. Humans live along its middle realm. Giants, spirits, and hidden beings occupy its distant reaches. Even the realms of fire, ice, and death exist within its vast network of roots and pathways. In this vision, reality is organic. It grows, it changes, it ages, and like all living things, it carries within itself the possibility of both decay and renewal. Yet the Norse cosmos is not sustained by harmony alone. It is held together by tension. The gods build walls and establish order, but chaos remains present beyond those boundaries. Giants challenge divine authority. Serpents coil beneath the oceans. Creatures gnaw at the roots of the world tree itself. These forces are not accidents. They are part of the structure of existence. The Norse worldview recognizes that stability is never absolute. Order must constantly defend itself against the pressures that surround it. Without those pressures, the cosmos would lose its dynamic balance. Thus the universe persists because opposing forces remain in motion. Fire meets ice, order confronts chaos. Life emerges between destruction and creation. The 9 worlds endure, not because they are perfectly secure, but because the tension between these forces continues to hold reality together. In the Norse vision of the universe, no realm exists in isolation. Every world, from Asgard to Midgard, from Jotunheim to Helheim, is bound within the living structure of Yggdrasil. What happens in one realm echoes in another. When giants challenge the gods, the stability of Midgard is threatened. When the gods shape destiny, humanity feels the consequences. When creatures gnaw at the roots of the world tree, every world trembles. The Norse cosmos therefore operates as a single, interconnected system. Gods, humans, giants, spirits, and hidden beings all participate in the same structure of existence. Each realm influences the others, sometimes directly, sometimes through subtle and invisible forces. Even the great events of myth, the rise of heroes, the struggles of gods, the coming of Ragnarok, ripple through every level of the cosmos. This interconnection reveals a profound idea within Norse cosmology. The universe is not a collection of separate worlds. It is a single organism, and every realm forms part of its living body. Thousands of years after the stories of the North were first spoken, the image of the 9 worlds still holds remarkable power over the human imagination. Part of this fascination comes from their structure. The Norse cosmos is vast but understandable. It offers a universe where realms are distinct yet connected, where forces of order and chaos struggle visibly, and where the fate of gods and mortals unfolds within a shared architecture of existence. But the deeper reason lies in what these worlds represent. They mirror the human experience. The Norse universe is not perfectly stable, nor does it promise eternal safety. Instead, it acknowledges struggle, uncertainty, and transformation as fundamental aspects of reality. The worlds endure only through constant balance between opposing forces. This vision feels strangely familiar even today. Modern societies still grapple with instability, conflict, and change. The Norse cosmos reflects a worldview that accepts these tensions rather than denying them. The 9 worlds endure in cultural memory because they describe a universe that feels alive, dynamic, fragile, and meaningful. A cosmos where every being, from gods to humans, participates in a shared destiny shaped by fate, courage, and the constant struggle to preserve balance.